Today, I'd like to briefly speak about some of the issues that Canadian insurers have been having since the legalization of recreational cannabis in Canada in 2018, specifically relating to home insurance policies. In Canada, the Cannabis Act permits adults to grow up to 4 plants of cannabis per household. And with this increased growth operations, inevitably comes increased risks and probably more coverage disputes for insurers. So why is that important to you? Well, whether we like it or not, the legalization of recreational cannabis is happening. More and more states are legalizing or considering the legalization of recreational cannabis. And while we are only starting to figure out how to deal with these issues in Canada almost 2 years post-legalization, you can start to advise your insurance clients on how to better be prepared for the inevitable so that they can avoid some of the issues we've been having down the road. The personal cultivation of cannabis in private homes clearly represents a risk aggravating factor for insurers. This type of activity warrants increased fires, electrical damage, more claims relating to theft and vandalism of plants, increased property damage claims, water damage, mold damage, etc. In Canada, cannabis cultivation no longer falls under the standard criminal or intentional acts exclusion in homeowner and tenant policies because it's no longer illegal. So as a result, insurers have had to revamp existing exclusion clauses and also create new exclusion clauses to deal with the associated risks of cannabis cultivation. So some of the things to consider in those new exclusions are 1, the interaction with the innocent insured exception. This is an exception which provides coverage to an insured who suffers a loss and makes a claim where they had no idea that there was a cannabis growth operation in their home. We typically see this in landlord and tenant disputes where the tenant was growing cannabis and the landlord had no idea, and then there was a loss associated with that. Another consideration is whether there needs to be a causal connection between the damages or losses and the grow operation in order for the exclusion to apply, and if so, how close that connection needs to be. Insurance policies now should also include specific language about the insurer's obligation to disclose if they are cultivating cannabis, and also set out the extent of the insurer's control to verify the insurer's statements in this regard, either by telephone verification or in-person inspection. There should also be language in these policies requiring the insured to implement safety or security measures if they are cultivating cannabis, and provide for the possibility of a denial of coverage if they don't properly implement those measures. So, what are the takeaways? Insurance advisors and brokers have an important role to play in this new era. They need to ask the right questions to prospective insureds about the cannabis cultivation. They also have a heightened duty to ensure that the insured understands the risks, the laws relating to cannabis cultivation, and to make sure that they follow those laws. Insurers need to make exclusions specific about personal cannabis cultivation so that there's no ambiguity. You don't want to run into a situation where you're providing coverage for something you never planned on providing coverage for. Finally, insurers should consider to implement new products and services to deal with these issues. For example, Claims Growing Canada has created a new service or platform to settle cannabis claims, including claims relating to residential and commercial theft, plant and crop damage, etc. So that's a great tool to use to try to get ahead of the game in this new era.